YouTube, we back with another tutorial, man. We gonna keep building on this two guard system. So today we're gonna use the point 0.5 guard, the 1.5 guard, and some clipper and comb to achieve a nice drop fade on my guy. So we always want to start out with a good consultation, have an understanding of what the client is looking for, and we're going to just comb through the hair and notice any imperfections, the calyx or anything, growth patterns. We want to make sure we set our eyes to see where we need to execute. And we're always going to prep the lining area for when it's that time with a nice either holding spray. This is like a spritz, and by the time we come back to line them up, it's going to be locked in, it's going to be ready to go. So since we're doing a drop fade, we're keeping that first guideline very low, and it's going to give us space to really be able to stretch out that fade and make it pop. Like I said before, I don't like super tight fades. I like to stretch out that fade because you can catch it better. Like the eye, you can notice a good, nice stretched out fade from a mile away. Sometimes when it's very tight, it kind of looks like there's still a heavy line in there. So we also are putting in this guideline with the clipper that we're going to be fading it with, because we don't want to spend all day trying to knock out that bottom line. Y'all know how it is. When you see that bottom line in there and you're trying your hardest to get it out, it just takes forever. So to eliminate that whole ordeal, we just going to set it in with the same clipper we're going to fade it out with. And like I said, be efficient with what's in your hand. We put that first guideline in, and we're putting the second guideline probably about a half an inch to an inch right above that with no guard open. And you want to keep it uniform throughout the whole head. You don't want it to be thicker in some areas and skinny in some areas. You want to try to keep it uniform, and this will keep your fade uniform. And now we're doing a little bit of clipper and comb to thin out that area right above the guideline. So once we go in with our 1.5, it's kind of debulked enough so we can have a nice transition. When you place that comb flat on the head, it's kind of like using a two guard. So when we place the spine down and we tilt up and angle it up, it's creating that transition for us. Remember, a fade is just a transition from dark to light. We don't have to ever overcomplicate the whole thing. We want to find whatever system makes that whole process of the transition very easy for us, easy to catch with our eyes. And so you see me putting the spine of the comb down near our top guideline and just angling out and trying to remove any bulk from that top part of the fade. Like I said, this will make it easier when we go with our 1.5. We won't have to overplay our part. So watch me just work that comb, angling it, and just gradually making a nice transition. Since we have no guard, in our hand with the clipper, we're going to immediately do what we can. We're going to drop down and attack that bottom line, starting close, going half, and going open, gradually working our way up that line. We're not going to overplay our part with the second lever or the fourth lever. We can save all those type of things for the detail work. And check out the pace. It's not slowed down or anything. This is just at normal speed. I'm just taking my time, but I'm being efficient because I know exactly the system I'm operating. Trying to flick really fast and all that type of stuff. It has a use case in some scenarios, like if you're doing a full freehand fade or something like that. But right now we're just working our system. We do not have to flick the clipper super fast just to knock this fade out fast, if you know what I'm saying. Notice how I'm just gliding the clipper past the guideline. I'm not trying to dig in because this is how you can create new lines, and I'm also using certain teeth of the clipper. Every time I lay the clipper down, I'm not just laying it flat because this can also put new guidelines in the hair, and you know we don't want to do that because that's only going to create more work for us to do when it's time to detail it. And really, the more you understand your system and know how to execute it, honestly, the less time we'll have to spend at the end of the haircut trying to detail it. Being efficient, we keep the two guards we're going to use in our hand, and I'm immediately working at 1.5 guard from top to bottom. So I'm going to start at the top, kind of under the parietal ridge area. Clipper, 1.5 guard all the way open, and I'm gradually going to go half, and then I'm going to go close. And I'm just working my way down back towards that top guideline we put in with no guard open. And then you know what? After that, we're going to come through with the 0.5 guard, go halfway close, and then close fully. And we're going to knock that line out. It should be pretty much faded out. We may have to go through no guard open and just corner it a little bit. But we don't want to go too crazy because like I say, we're going to save that for the detail work. So watch me just work my way down the fade. And like you seen in the other tutorials, these are the only two guards we use for the majority of the part. And this doesn't matter the texture of the hair. It could be curly, it could be straight, it could be coarse hair. When you have a system that you like to operate, you should be able to work that system on any hair texture and it should give you the desired look with no problem. That's that top guideline with no guard open that we're sitting there attacking, corner cutting, and just gradually flicking past. And look, so if no guard close with that comb, the clipper and comb technique was a 2. Once we put that 0.5 on there, we can make it like a 3. We can make it like a 2.5 to a 3, 3.5 really. And do the same thing. Efficiency, making it simple. We don't have to get the 4 or all these higher number guards just to get in those areas where the hair is longer around the parietal ridge. And so you see, it's some spots that are choppy, yes, but this is already a solid fade. And we can come through and clean anything up when it's time to do our detail work. And so the sides and the back, I'm doing the exact same steps. I'm gonna let you just watch me work the system. So I'm gonna just let it rock out. One thing I want to say too, notice how we left that hair below our fade. Why do we do that? It's because we put our first guideline in with the clipper. So we didn't even have to worry about that because we're being efficient with our clipper. When it's time to pull out the trimmers, we can go ahead and clean that up. And then also one thing that I noticed too, it kind of helps me see the fade pretty good as well before I knock it out and just go ahead and bald it all the way. So this is something cool that I picked up on as I was cutting. All we're doing right here is using our comb to debulk that lineup area. We want to make sure the lineup lasts for the client. The client has a longer curly texture hair, so we want to make sure even when he leaves and he may shower or sweat or whatever, that lineup is still intact where we placed it at. And we always want to comb the hair back down, and so once we line it up, all that hair is pulled forward to where we're going to line it up at. Combing the hair back to its natural growth pattern is always very important, because when the client brushes or combs their hair or styles their hair, you don't want any hairs hanging out. And we like to start with the vertical bars when we're doing our lineup and balance both of them, because then I'm telling you guys, the lineup will become much easier because it will literally show you where it wants to be placed at. Once you balance out those vertical bars, you can measure and line up everything symmetrically. So I'm just measuring out where I put that vertical bar relatively towards the end of the eye, or bear with me on these on these terms that I use for lining up that vertical bar, because they might not be politically correct or whatever. Like, I kind of use the end of the eyeball, or the eyebrow, or the edge of the eye socket. And sometimes, as far as no man's land, I call no man's land past the corner of the eye socket. If the vertical bar is there, you kind of just got to do your best to balance the two. So once we put those vertical bars in, we started in the middle of the lining, and we're just walking our way back and forth to those corners. We never want to overplay our part. We can always take more hair away, but we can never add any more hair back on. So we just want to take our time, work our way towards the corner, and balance it, doing the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to just let you watch it in real time. Always combing. We always want to comb that hair back down. And on the other side, I'm just balancing it. I'm not doing anything different. I'm using my corner once I get up in that corner, because I want to make sure that corner is sharp as well. Using our mirrors to make sure everything is symmetrical. And if you notice that thing I just did there, I kind of balanced my C cup to that top line, because we want our haircuts to look uniform. The mistake I used to make in the past is I would over curve that C cup sometimes, and it wouldn't look uniform. Maybe I thought it was cool, like as artistry or something back then, but looking back, I noticed how it wasn't uniform relatively to that top lineup. And when you think about it, you want your haircut to look balanced. You want everything to be clean and traditional. Now, I don't know if that's a newer age thing, or, even I see some old school barbers do it as well. But you want to make sure that the C cup and that lining, everything is looking symmetrically balanced in a sense. Now, every client's lining isn't going to be perfect, so sometimes you may have to over curve or whatever, granted to that client's lineup growth pattern. But try your best to use different references to make sure the lining is balanced. And that's kind of like how that lineup looks right now. And we just gonna sharpen it up with the razor, and we're just taking our time with the razor as well. We're pulling the skin and gliding that razor at a 30-degree angle. We're going with the grain in some areas because we don't want to give the hair too much of a blunt cut, because this would what can cause ingrown hairs. And leave a comment. Let me know if you guys have any questions on anything I covered that I might not have went well in depth on, or just any feedback in general is always appreciated every time. So now we're knocking out that that hair we left underneath the fade. We're going back with the clipper. And one thing I like to do while I'm doing this is also notice any areas where I have to detail at. Right now we see a few. So now we're just getting in our detail work. We're about to wrap up this cut, and this is a good clean haircut. This is depending on how much your service duration is. You can spend as much as a little as 1 to 2 minutes doing this detail work, or as long as 10 minutes, 5 minutes, however long you want to spend to really bring this haircut out. But this is an everyday good haircut, This is a real shop haircut. I want you guys to don't think I'm doing anything different than what I do on a normal basis in the shop. If you can do a good haircut like this, you can keep the clients coming back satisfied with great customer service. This haircut can get you far, So I want to show you guys how to achieve a nice, solid, efficient haircut. We're just going back with the fuller right now and making sure that fulls like the razor, adds a day or two to the service and also makes the fade pop. So let me know what you guys think about the haircut. Nice clean drop fade. We're gonna kind of wet the top when we're done a little bit, just as a little style, just to do that for the client. But yeah, clean drop fade. Let me know how you guys feel. Hopefully I'll catch you on the next one. Leave a comment on any more tutorials you might want to see.